Guys, what's up? Welcome to episode 4 of the Loper Show. And joining me, one of my oldest friends here in Columbus. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him from YouTube. I mean, hell, you might even just know him from around town.
I've been around town, yeah.
It's the one and only Chase Gilroy. How are you, man?
What's up, guys? Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Dude, absolutely.
I'm so glad. I was saying it right before we started. I'm so glad that you're doing this. You know, we've had you on the radio in Columbus for such a long time. And I remember when I was working a regular job, I would listen to you in the morning.
I appreciate that.
And I don't know, I just always had this soft spot in my heart for Loper. And I remember distinctly being on vacation and I was talking to you. I was like, dude, you got to do a pod. You got to be online. Like, forget the radio. Do online. Because, you know, that's what I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here you are. Finally.
Yeah, the internet guys are always trying to bring the broadcast guys out of the staples.
I don't know if it's the dark side.
The confines of like what it is to be in corporate radio too. The thing I love the most about this is when I'm done with every show, I put my stamp of approval on it, and I don't need fucking any shine from anyone else.
You just go?
Yeah.
You just send it?
Well, that's the problem with radio is like, you know, you have to, after the show, you know, there's somebody that's inevitably your boss who's usually kind of a dork.
Yeah.
And then you have to, I mean, I was lucky at the Blitz. I have to say like Hal Fish was, he was a really good guy that really got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know, over the years, definitely worked for some dorks that just, they don't see the vision. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what radio could be these days, you know, because inevitably this is what radio should be. It's just conversations.
Yeah.
You know, you can get the music anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, you know, it's like on everyone's phone, you have the music. And don't get me wrong, I love the music, but you know, this is liberating, my friend.
It is that. You know, like I feel like within those bigger corporations and those industries, there's so much red tape to get through, and like legal has to approve stuff. And with the online space, like YouTube specifically, you're free to create. You know, you're within the bounds of like what the platform will accept, but those are wildly more open than the legal department at a major radio station.
Yeah, that's true. So for the people that don't know who Chase is, basically, man, you got your start here in Columbus with your brother-in-law, Roman Atwood.
Yeah, good
and
guy.
Kind of explain, like, you know, how you got into vlogging and just being on YouTube. And guy's got like 500,000 followers, guys.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. I don't post on YouTube as much as I used to. We can go there, though. It started back in, I don't know, maybe 2014-ish, probably even earlier than that. You know, we would get together on the weekends, me and Roman and a few of our other buddies, and, you know, we'd create these sketch videos, and they were terrible. I really loved the tech aspect of it. I was never much of the on-camera guy, which you probably know. I'm like, people come to me for, like, tech advice and stuff. So I always really loved that aspect of it, and there was a point where like those silly videos turned into like incredible YouTube attention, and it exploded to a point where like there's literally millions of people watching these videos. And I'll be honest with you, these aren't blockbusters. We did like pranks.
Well, the prank videos, like, that's how I got to know you guys.
Right.
And that was, I mean, some of those were funny. A couple of my fighter friends were in.
Yeah, like Matt.
Yeah, Matt and Travis Clark. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, these weren't like highly polished and produced videos. No, these were like staying up till 1, 2 in the morning out on High Street messing with college campus kids.
Right.
You know, dropping squirrels out of trees or whatever. And I'm just the camera guy trying to keep myself hidden. Maybe it's cold out and I'm like shivering, trying to keep the shot steady. But it really ultimately boiled down to like the content, what it was. And, you know, fast forward through some time, you know, that arena took off, and I really liked, you know, as much as I loved being the cameraman, I really liked editing, and I wanted to figure out how to, you know, edit. And that was kind of Roman's department on his channel, which, you know, should be. And so like I created a vlog channel. Yeah. Cause that was the meta at the time.
Sure.
And I was like, well, no one's going to watch me. I'm not cool. I'm not interesting. But it turns out I kind of am.
Yeah, famous last words.
Yeah.
You guys got me into vlogging.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the channel that you watch the show on YouTube, you know, if you scroll down,
yeah,
you know, you'll see all the vlogs of, well, it's really just my family and I. And we had so much fun with it. What I loved about it when you guys introduced me to vlogging, because you and Roman both were like, dude, you got to vlog, and Dennis Rohde, back in the day, and I was like, what? They're just like, yeah, like all these events that you're going to, and what it made concerts more fun.
Yeah.
It showed like my audience also. It was almost like a cheat sheet to the show. So like when I'm talking about something on the air, I could just say, hey, go check out the vlog.
Right.
So, I can get all Paul Harvey with my words, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's nothing like that visual. And that was so much fun, like going to Rock on the Range, which became Sonic Temple, and showing people backstage. So like when I told these crazy stories about, I saw this band doing that or this, you could actually see it.
Right.
And that was such a key for me. So, I mean, I will always be indebted to you guys for that. And I've kind of taken my vlog stuff and started, just basically like Insta vlogging.
Right. Well, I mean, that is the direction of things now. Is it the most? And I fight it, dude, because I love filming horizontal. Okay.
Yes. Right.
I'm a purist in that way. But the way that the world is now, everyone consumes their content on vertical.
Right.
And you should just be producing your stuff for vertical. Mm-hmm. Maybe not this podcast, but I've seen you put clips out there on vertical.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying, though, because if you go back in my collection of videos of all my stuff, like, everything was horizontal. Vertical was like the devil back in the day.
What's a short?
Yeah, it wasn't until like, I guess,
reel?
Instagram, really? Because even on Facebook, the vertical didn't look that great.
No.
You still had like
it was like 4x3.
Right, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's kind of funny how things have changed, though, because I do hardly anything now vertical because there's nowhere. I don't do long form vlogs anymore. So it's like,
you mean horizontal?
Horizontal, rather. Yeah, sorry. When that kind of went out, I just
like at the time when vlogging was cool, when that was like the rise. It was kind of at the tail end of like reality TV. You remember like Jersey Shore and all that stuff. I feel like people were so interested in the intricacies of like regular human behavior, or extra, that they just wanted to see that more that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like when you would go behind the scenes of a rock concert, no one else gets to see that but you.
Right.
And so the fact that your fans are tuning in to watch you do that type of stuff shows you that that's what they want. Like they want to see the behind the scenes. And I think that's why vlogging was so popular. And much like pranks, pranks became super oversaturated on YouTube. Then we had to move into vlogging.
Yeah.
And then everyone and their brother's like, well, I don't have to be special at all to put, point a camera at my face and film my stuff all day and grow an audience, and people were doing that. And I feel like you still can. I think just the matter of the process has kind of changed a bit.
I feel like they have to know you from something, from another, like with my thing, it's radio, right? Unless you're like Roman, where you have helicopters and driving 4x4s into lakes. I mean, you really have to go over the top because, the average for the average person to break through on something like a vlog,
it's true.
I mean, it's extremely difficult.
I mean, I just got a message on the way here that a local school wants to have me come and speak to their students on career day about, getting into social media as a career. And you can probably relate to this in the music industry where like a guitar player is a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the same for camera guys now or creators.
Yeah. Because things are so much more affordable, right?
Like,
Yeah. The equipment
you can do everything you need right from your phone. In fact, Cletus, I don't know if you know Cletus McFarland. He's a super funny guy down in Florida. He creates these awesome, motorsports videos, racing.
Okay. Yeah.
All his stuff is done on his phone. And it's purposely cheesy, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah, like he puts crossfade transitions on everything.
Okay, yeah.
It's the point is you don't need like thousands of dollars worth of equipment to make a product, to make a personal brand online and stand out to an audience. You just have to be interesting. And a lot of people are just hungry for realism. They want you to just be authentic.
We're talking about vlogs a little bit and how the internet has moved away from that in the way that people consume. So, we went from pranks to vlogs to Vine. Vine for like 15 minutes was like the biggest thing in the world.
Vine was huge.
and then it was just gone. Like, it's so
Right.
crazy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the Paul brothers made out, but
Oh,
like,
for sure.
you know, they made it out of that.
A lot
but
of people did.
it you know, it was so crazy. And then I feel like, you know, the TikTok dancing thing was huge for a while. If you had to say what is the most popular thing that people are consuming in general online right now, what would you say?
I would say it's short form. It's like TikToks. Did you know that TikTok at one point was Musically?
No, I didn't realize that.
Musically, the app, was really just people dancing to music. You know, you would do your thing.
Yeah. So now I vaguely remember that.
And then
Yeah,
it transformed into TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's what we see today. And I feel like, I don't know if we could say that TikTok is the best, but there's a whole lot of people on there. Whole lot.
See, my audience tends to be a little bit older.
Yeah.
So I don't do as well on TikTok as I do on Instagram.
What's your favorite platform?
I mean, if I had to say my favorite right now, I would say Instagram, you know.
For everything.
Yeah, like I would love to kill my Facebook page, but I mean, hella people come to see this show. They come to see me.
Here's why I think that's a bad idea.
The blog. No, I don't. I'm not going to really do it. I'm just saying
Right.
I would love to get away from it. It's nice that I can share whatever on Instagram and it goes to Facebook. But
Right.
like, I feel like Facebook got so corny and then kind of had a resurgence of sorts.
It's corny. Because all the Karens live there, dude.
Right, well, exactly. We like, you know, everyone's mom is there. Everyone, you know, the grandmother. Which, hey, moms, hi, grandmas, love
Hey.
you. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, your edgier content, it's hard. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I fully subscribe to the idea that each platform has a very specific set of audiences.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll break it down. Where I feel like I get like my what's happening right now news, that's on X.
Of
Right?
course, yeah, yeah.
If I want to look at, which I don't, if my wife is watching, I would never. Girls in bikinis, you know, doing their thing, you would be on Instagram or tech stuff or you know,
Write that down, guys. Yeah.
short form interests.
Yeah.
That have some sort of substance to it is going to be on Instagram.
Yeah.
And not so much photos anymore. I think we all know that.
Yeah, yeah.
TikTok is your brain rot.
Right. Skibbity.
That's where you want to go to just, I don't know, zone out and just, I don't know. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of value unless you want to buy something from TikTok Shop, which apparently is.
Is that a thing? See, I don't do TikTok that much. So you can buy stuff on there, huh?
Oh, there's a whole
Actually,
market.
you can buy stuff on Instagram too.
There's
like,
a huge
you know,
marketplace.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see it all the time in my feed where people are talking about their TikTok Shop products.
Yeah.
Because they opened up an affiliate program where you can earn commission to help sell those products.
Interesting. Kind of like Amazon.
Pretty much like Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. But the products are, if you've shopped on Amazon, they're less quality than
like
Amazon.
Timo?
Let's say somewhere in between Amazon and Temu.
Yeah. So would you say that the ban of TikTok is going to happen in the country?
Dude, I really don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't really care, you know, because there's so many other outlets for people to utilize. I know a lot of people make their living posting content on TikTok. It would be the same thing as if like YouTube disappeared overnight.
Yeah.
That would be awful. But I feel like it's just a power move in the upper echelon of the governmental pyramid where they're trying to get control of it.
Gotcha.
You know, whereas I think I heard it was 60% owned by an American interest. So it's not even the majority controlled by a Chinese company. Fact check me. But I do think that they're going to try and strong arm them into selling it to, you know, be a fully American. Because what is our world without TikTok right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sketchy too, you know, to force to sell like that. I get all of the dangers that people, you know, supposedly are in fear of, but I don't know. It's weird. So if you were to say like which platform would earn people the most money for being on, would you say TikTok?
No.
Because I know Instagram changed their algorithm like a year and a half ago.
It changes all the time.
And I went from I'm going to discuss numbers, but like, I went from making a lot
taking notes
more money to like making a lot less money on Instagram.
How did you monetize your Instagram?
Just through their program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the content that you produce would earn you money.
Yes.
I have a pretty good following on Instagram. Never made $1.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that something you chose not to opt in on?
I don't think I ever even thought of it. Honestly, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you could monetize your individual content on Instagram.
Yeah, you can, absolutely.
But I'll tell you what, I discovered something pretty interesting recently. Have you ever scrolled on social media and you see these people talking about courses?
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So like if you want to buy this course, I'm going to teach you this thing, and it can be anything. There are many courses out there.
Right.
I was like, and it was like $500. One day I'm scrolling and I find this course and it talks about like digital marketing, like learning how to market products using social media. And I read into it and I was like, this is kind of interesting. And I was like, F it, dude, I'm going to buy that. I'm going to see if I can learn something new. And it taught me basically sales, right?
Okay.
Because I come from a position of, if I want to make money on social media, I have to make a silly video. I got to put on a costume or create a persona and make these videos where hopefully millions, and it needs millions of people will watch this so that I can make money on the ad revenue.
Right.
I never once thought of social media in a way to use it to sell a product, right? And you can sell stuff all the time. Like, let's say I created this pop socket device here, and then I made a dedicated account on social media to show people how cool this is, right? And how it changed my life. Like, everyone has a pop socket, I feel like. You got one.
Yeah.
What kind of? And then through making social media where people's interests are very clearly already invested, they're going to be like, oh, I like that. I'm going to buy that. And maybe it's $5. Times the infinite vast of the internet, you just became a millionaire.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So what I learned from that program, and I affiliate this program actually, you can find it in my Instagram bio. It's very cool. But so what I learned was, instead of needing to go way out of your way to create a person that you wouldn't normally be,
right,
and require a vast number of followers to join you and watch your stuff, you can make a substantial amount of money using social media with a couple thousand followers.
That's interesting.
It's not really about the amount of followers that you need. I think.
So what is it about?
It's
the effectiveness of like what you're presenting.
It's sales, right? It's sales and the psychology of social media.
You're like the new Zig Ziglar, man.
I don't know about that, but I remember listening to Jimmy on a podcast. That's Mr. Beast.
Okay.
And he would talk about how like he religiously studied why videos go viral, what makes a viral video. There's a guy, his name's Brendan Kane. He talks about, and he wrote a book called something about going viral. I'll look it up. Something about going viral, and he really breaks down like what it takes for a video to go viral, what the algorithm is actually looking for. Because a lot of people will say,
please tell me, yeah.
A lot of people will say, I'm shadow banned, or the algorithm hates me, right?
Right.
And it's true, the algorithm changes all the time. But I think what I took from his book was that the algorithm has a singular purpose for the company that it is deployed for, right? So like for YouTube, the algorithm is going to find videos that capture your attention and keep you on the platform as long as possible, right? That's it.
Based on other stuff that you've watched and your interest, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It will cultivate videos for you based on what your history of watching.
Yeah.
So, but you need to get, and if you watch Mr. Beast's videos, he's the master of it. And it's clear because he finds a way to hook you in up front.
Mm-hmm.
And in those first few seconds, you're invested. What's going to happen?
Right.
I want to know the outcome.
Sure.
And so if you kind of try and like deconstruct what successful people are doing online, you can really manipulate what it is that creates a viral video. You can recreate that. I've dabbled. All right. I do dabble. Do you remember when like the Bud Light thing happened?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Before Shane Gillis saved them.
I created a video. Have you ever seen those videos where like there's something in the box and you're behind the box, but you can't see what's in it?
Yeah.
there's a drink version of that,
Okay.
right? And I knew at the time that this would probably will go over well as far as analytics, but probably not, people are going to be triggered by it. So I put up the cardboard box
Okay.
with all Bud Light bottles, right? And the goal of the video was to taste each one and see if I can identify what the drink is. But the whole time I'm telling my wife, she goes there, and my wife set me up, right? She's telling me there's individual drinks in these and you have to guess which one it is. And I'll give you one hint. They're adult beverages. And I was like, all right, well, but it better not be that Bud Light. And this was at the time that the whole Bud Light thing was happening.
Right.
And so the first visual that you see in that video is just this box full of Bud Lights. And I'm like, it better not be Bud Light. And the whole time I'm guessing all different beers. Not once did I ever guess a Bud Light.
Is that right? That's awesome.
And
that's great content.
And it got hella views.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not about it's not fully about the content.
Uh-huh.
It's what's going to happen in the comment section. Because part of the requirement of a successful video is that you need to gather engagement, right? So you need people to share it. You need them to comment and like.
Sure.
And then once someone says something, then 50 other people are going to be like, no, you're wrong. Or no, he's totally right.
Right.
And it's like, that's part of the equation to making videos that go viral. And I'll tell you another one, like it's a beer bottle. I don't make only videos about beer bottles, but the most viral video I think I made, and this was through AdSense, over $30,000 on one video that I shot with my cell phone.
Yeah.
Right. And it was the gag where you put $100 bill on the table and you put your beer bottle on top of it upside down.
Uh-huh.
I told my son, I was like, I'll give you this $100 bill if you can get it out from underneath that bottle without touching the bottle or knocking it over. And the video, I have to admit, it was fully staged, right? This is just the craft. It took him the 2 minutes to try and get it out, pull the dollar bill or $100 bill out, knocking it over every time. And when finally at the end of the video, my older son pushes him out of the way, says, let me do this. And he just goes, yeek, and swipes it and walks off. And it's like, I just look at the camera like, and that was over 30 million views.
Is that right?
Video. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Wow. So what was the trick to it?
The actual
Care to reveal?
The actual trick is that you have to roll the bill up against the neck of the bottle. So you never touch the bottle.
Okay.
So if anyone ever presents that to you, you just roll the bill. Most people know that though. That's an old trick.
Man. So tell me this, like on the platforms, obviously each platform is different. You get different audiences like we've discussed, but why is YouTube so freaking hard to be successful? Like you gotta admit that, right? Like if it's, to get 20,000 followers, let's just say on Instagram, it's not that hard, right? But to get like, let's just throw a number out there.
Even
like
past
100,000 views on a video on YouTube. I mean, you have to be like an elite status or have something like that's outrageous to continuously do those numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to be a lot of people can go viral, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like to keep that in consistency. I mean, like, why is it so hard on YouTube, you think?
I don't have the answer for that. And if I did, I'd probably be really rich. No, but I think the formula to making a good YouTube channel is you got to find a good format. Think about like Whistling Diesel. Okay. Have you ever watched his stuff?
I have not, no.
Dude, he's super funny. But I feel like his number one goal in a video is how can I trigger as many people as possible?
Yeah.
And he destroyed for all the sneakerheads, he's got a video where he took like this unicorn pair of shoes, right? Very expensive shoes, like $30,000 shoes.
Yeah.
And completely destroyed them. Ran them over with a backhoe or
what, people just go crazy.
Pushed them down into the mud and pulled them up. And it's stuff like that like
Because people can't believe it's happening. They're like, what?
Right. Like,
Yeah.
how could you possibly do that? Or
Right.
even like the Cybertruck. You put like a Cybertruck up against a Ford F-150, and I think barely into the video, they literally pull the entire back half of the frame or the bumper, the back end of the frame off of the Cybertruck, and then they can't do any more pull tests. And so then he pivots on into just completely smearing the, you know, the build quality of a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
And then that became his content. But everyone loves the Cybertruck. They think it's amazing.
That's
so it's almost like,
yeah.
But see, on the other foot, I kind of hate that, right? I value, because how long can you put up that type of charade? Like, how long can you trigger people?
There's
and
very
be
few
known
people that
for
can do it, right? Or like Shock, or like the videos we're talking about with Roman. Like, he's one of the people that's like, super elite at doing this, and
right.
It's crazy to think, like that's what I got to do to have people watch, or like that's the formula. But that's why there's only so many people that are on television. There's
Right.
only so many people that are super famous on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Or any social platform.
Yeah, and the life cycle of a creator, I mean, ultimately isn't very long.
Yeah. Well, there's some people that have transitioned to like live streams.
Yeah.
Which I think is destroying a lot of people's lives, by the way. Like, I mean, like, I don't, a guy that we know, Fusi. I mean, like, you've seen him have some tough times lately, man. I mean, he's constantly getting swatted. I mean,
okay, but here's the thing. Listen, these guys are geniuses. All right. They've been in the game for such a long time.
Yeah.
I know them personally. I can't tell you if they're real or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's no secret that a lot of the big players in the YouTube game were faking their videos.
Oh, absolutely.
To get the views.
Sure.
So why not carry that into live streams? I think it's
almost like, in radio, what I can speak from is like an extension of your personality.
Right.
You want to be authentic of who you are, but you know, when you're on cam or you're on, on the air or whatever you do, whatever your craft is, it's an extension of who you are. It's not a fake. It's just an extension. And I know what you're talking about though,
But if you think about like traditional entertainment where like all these actors, Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, that's not who he really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and that's the beauty of social media in a way, is that you can create whoever it is that you want to be.
Yeah.
And if your goal is to, get millions and millions of views and you think you can create a character like Donnie Baker, do you remember him?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's not who he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he came up with a character that I think really resonated with a lot of people. It was relatable. Everybody knows that redneck dude.
Right.
And it was funny. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with that in a way.
Yeah.
And you're providing entertainment. And I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, you got to do what makes you feel good. But I don't know that I could do that. I don't know.
Guys like Danny Duncan, like when you're watching the videos, he's the best. I mean, and he's one of the guys, much like Roman and some other people that have been able to keep it up year after year after year, and just they keep delivering on this super high level.
I think it's because that's who he really is.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
and for like long term, if you could just put yourself out there in a way that is true to you, you'll never get tired of it.
It's like Steve-O too. I mean, Steve-O's, he's great at being Steve-O.
Oh, he sure is,
and delivering too, man.
Dude, Steve-O's super funny. We got to chill with him not too long ago.
He's such a nice guy, right?
Such a nice guy.
Yeah, he really is.
I almost got my first tattoo.
From Steve-O?
From Steve-O.
That would have been dope.
But we kind of ran out of time.
You don't have any tattoos, bro?
I don't have a single tattoo.
We got to get you tatted, man.
I know.
We should do a whole podcast where we just get tatted.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It's not that I'm against
tattoo. Get you like a big
or,
camera on your chest or something, something really very Gilroy.
The tattoo that I would have gotten from Steve-O was a very basic icon of like a tattoo.
That's funny.
But yeah, we ran out of time.
An icon of a tattoo?
Yeah, like a little, like a little box with a little circle on it, I could be like, that's a camera. And Steve-O did that.
So what do you think about platforms like Kick, where you are live streaming? Because you kind of alluded to the fact that, there's a lot of stuff online that people are, pre-producing. But, when you're doing a live stream and you're live in it, it's got to be hard to produce the whole. I mean, would have had to think about, or think out the entire thing depending on how many hours you're doing, right? I mean,
Right.
and set it all up. I mean,
Well,
it's much more exhausting than doing like a 10-minute video or something.
Absolutely. But I think you might be referring to Vitali. Because he's
we
on
could
kick.
go there. We could go there. I mean,
Vitali is a master of improv. I've worked with him a lot.
Dude, he's so funny too. I mean, he's so great.
And
in person, he's such a cool guy too.
Vitali's awesome.
Yeah.
He's had his problems.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
But dude, I mean, I love a comeback story.
Absolutely.
And the guy, I mean, the whole like catching pedophile things now. I mean, he's like the new Chris Hansen. He's the Russian Chris Hansen. I mean,
he really is. And the fact that he's just, I don't know, Vitali's just crazy.
Yeah.
Right. He's crazy in real life too.
Yeah. That's for sure.
But he's a master of improv. So, and like I said, I don't know if that's real or fake. Yeah. I cannot tell. And I've been doing this for a long time. So, but I know that he's so good that he could just align the scenario, which is the catch a predator, and just spin and spin and spin and spin on that for hours throughout his live stream. So I don't know if it's real, but I think it's definitely entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's like one of the guys that's really good at finding a niche.
Yeah.
And just going to town. I mean, because that is, now you see a lot of knockoffs, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
There's, everybody's out there slapping some weird looking guy in Walmart now, but which I don't even know how you really get away with any of that shit, but okay.
Yeah, you have to kind of know the person, I feel like. Because otherwise, like what? You're going to, and this is like the huge disclaimer, don't go out there doing sensational stuff just because you think it'll get views.
Yeah.
You're deceived by what you see online because a lot of times, like if you see something crazy go down in a Walmart, either they really don't care and they probably got arrested, or they know the person,
right?
And it was a huge setup, and it's all in the interest of getting views.
What's the craziest thing that you've ever heard of or witnessed during the filming of a social media video where it just went south?
It would have to be the ATM thing we did. Because that was
so well, dude.
That was as south as it went.
That was so. Weren't you guys coming to the radio station to do the show or something like the next day? Because I remember like it was all over the news. We were like reporting it live. So explain to people if they don't know what we're talking about.
Well, the setup was that Roman bought a fake ATM.
Yeah.
This was a collab event with Vitali. We bought a fake ATM, a bunch of Hollywood money.
Yeah.
The boys would dress up as robbers and roll up to a location where we plant our fake ATM on a public sidewalk.
Right.
And they would hop out in ski masks with duffel bags and baseball bats and give a nice whack on the side of the ATM. And it was already unlocked. We had the keys to it. They would open the ATM and comically throw money out and shove it in their duffel bag, and they'd hop in the car and take off.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, this is entertainment, okay? We are creating a scenario in a public space that may look like someone's getting robbed. So what? But some people saw that and called the cops, like normal people probably would.
Right.
And the cops showed up in full force. Like
and when you say full force, helicopters.
We had
it was all over the news.
Yeah.
Even before the video came out.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty
sure
people
already knew what was going on.
Dude, it was, we doing the stuff that we had did. We're used to seeing the cops. In fact, the angle of Roman's channel was to specifically target, to get the cops' reactions, you know? And that was kind of just one. And the police were great. They always kind of are. They were very nice. And, we explained to them what we're doing. And there was one that was kind of like, we could have ran over someone getting across town, running lights and sirens and stuff. And I'm like, well, don't.
Right.
Just don't.
Your driving abilities has nothing to do with my video.
You got a license.
No. Yeah. Like, so where do you even get a fake ATM, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I think eBay probably.
Is that right? eBay?
Yeah.
Okay. Just in case.
But that was probably the craziest. And we went to whole court system and I remember being on stand and
that was the craziest part. You guys literally went to court. I mean, like
we went to court. I'm on stand in front of the state's apparently best prosecutor.
Yeah.
I felt like that scene in Liar Liar, you know, when when they're in the courtroom.
Yes.
And I just kind of owned that prosecutor because he was asking, "What is a prank? What is the definition of a prank?" I was like, "Well, sir, that's playing a joke on people." You know, basically. And so the case went so well for us that, you know, the judge ultimately ruled that we were, you know, it was our First Amendment right to perform, you know, what we were doing as a form of entertainment, and we were expressing ourselves in public. And the case was dismissed, and we got a picture with the judge after.
Yeah, I mean, that was so wild. Wait, whoa! The judge wanted a picture afterwards.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, that's the best.
It's not on my socials. I think it might be on Roman's account, but
that is so funny.
Yeah, we got a picture with the judge after. It's kind of crazy.
What I think is wild is, like, you know, you've seen people that have been online forever, you know, and how people transition, right? You know, like with Roman and Vitaly and Dennis, you know, doing the movie Natural Born Pranksters.
Yeah.
You know, which was really fun. I got to, you know, be the moderator for the Columbus show here.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, man, like when we left out of the backstage area, because we all left together, it was like the fucking Beatles were there. I mean, there were kids that were, you know, like our kids' age now, right? My youngest, your oldest, and, you know, like 10, 11, 12, 13, and they're just screaming like it's the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, nuts. Absolutely. I'd never, you know, I've been in a lot of crowd situations on stage in front of like 100,000 people introducing bands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that was one of the unique scenarios that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. I just remember opening those doors in the backstage area, and people were just lined up for as far as you could see in downtown Columbus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was wild, man.
It's really wild to see how social media can produce something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
But I guess where I was going with this, so I don't lose my train of thought, I love the transitions that people have made, you know, like where, you know, Roman doing the pranks, going into the vlog videos, which, you know, kids could not wait to get out of school. I remember my oldest kid, Jaden, was like, you know, the perfect age for that.
Yeah.
And, you know, they would drop at 4:00 every day, and he would make sure he was right there in front of YouTube so he could see it. And then now, you know, he's doing a podcast.
No, not so much.
No? Is he done?
The podcast is no more. I was producing that podcast.
Yeah.
And he lost interest.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I loved seeing him do it, though. I mean, I thought it was fun. And
it was.
So what do you think is next for him?
Roman owns a laundromat.
I saw that. Is it a real laundromat?
It's a real laundromat.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy.
That is funny. So what's next for you?
So now, I mean, I do a lot of things. Do you remember Lost Lands?
Yeah, of course.
So
I've never been to that. I went out to the meeting of the gathering of the Juggalos.
Oh, that's fun.
I went out there with Jelly Roll, and he was like, "Bubba, you got to come out here and see this." And I was like, "Whoa!" So literally, Jelly Roll's driving us around the gathering of the Juggalos just after he performed. I
want to meet him so bad. By the way, Jelly Roll's so awesome.
Next time he's here for sure. Yeah.
No, I love flying FPV drones. I've built a business around like being the guy with drones.
Yeah.
For the past couple years, I've been doing the drones for the FPV or for the Lost Lands live stream.
Oh, that's sick.
So the live stream would cut to FPV views. Me and a few of my buddies, local guy here, Chris McConnell, do just about everything with drones. And so I do like video walkthroughs with drones, aerial cinematography. FPV is just the coolest thing ever. I'd have to show you some of that stuff.
And what does that stand for?
First person view. It's like where you put the goggles on and you can be on board your drone.
Just so people know.
And it's just top tier. And then
that's sick. So it's almost like VR, huh?
It's like you're in the front, you know, you're in the cockpit.
Do you have to get used to it from a certain standpoint?
Yeah, you do. It's a little disorienting, but once you get the hang of it, I used to have to sit down or lean against something. But now I can just stand anywhere and fly.
Around.
No. So I'm everything drones.
I
created a Facebook page called Drone Ops Ohio.
Oh, cool, man.
Where I'm currently, it's brand new, but I'm currently doing my drone thing is thermal deer recovery.
Oh.
So I bought this thermal drone. It's a DJI drone. It's giant. and it has a thermal camera on it. So hunters will call me when they've shot a deer but they can't find it to go find their deer for them.
How the fuck do you even get into that?
I fell into it. Listen,
what?
I fell into it last year.
That's what. So like somebody instead of so you basically replaced a hound dog.
Yeah. In some ways, it's even better because a dog will go in and bump a deer.
Okay.
Right. If a deer's wounded and the dog's out there searching for it, the deer's gonna move. I'm 300 feet in the air. They can't
and
hear
they're
me.
silent. The drones.
Yeah. Well, kind of. They're a lot quieter at 300 feet. But I don't know. I just got a call one day from a buddy who was looking for someone who was licensed to fly drones. And I was like, well, I am. And I went and met up with him in the parking lot of some random spot because he was going to fly to find a deer. And he was so busy with trying to keep up with these calls. He was like, I want to see if you're interested in doing this. And I watched him fly this drone and take off, and it's a big drone, way bigger than any of the big drones you've seen.
Yeah.
It's huge. And so at that moment I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. I could fly, and they make $500 a call.
No kidding.
Well, it's $400 to go out. And then if you find the deer, it's an additional $100. But in some cases, and my record is 12 seconds.
Is that right?
I found the deer from launch to locate in 12 seconds.
And so you just have like a navigation, so like you know exactly where it is, like you pinpoint it.
Oh, dude, it's so cool. I can shoot a beacon right onto it, and then pull up that beacon on my screen, and you can scan it with your phone, and it gives you the like a QR code.
Yeah,
and it takes you right to the coordinates.
Fucking, that's brilliant. I mean, wow,
I was like, when I first met that guy, I was like, dude, I'm in.
Yeah,
and he was like, I just want some sleep. Because he was up all night going out and trying to find these deer for hunters, making a killing, right? But that was the first year that it was going on, so last year. So this year, many more people are turned into it. There's 3 times the amount of pilots.
So do you have a social media page devoted to this? Like where we can watch you find
Drone
deer?
Ops Ohio. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, and that's been the funnest thing. And it's kind of a blessing too, because as a videographer, as a content creator, like I said, I wasn't posting as much on my YouTube channel anymore. I do more content for hire now.
Yeah.
That stuff really slows down in the wintertime, the fall and winter.
Yeah.
And that's exactly when deer recovery services pick up. So I was like, this is perfect.
That's so great. So yeah, Randy's cousin, Austin Smith, he would collab with Bart Baker. Like they did a lot of Bart's early videos, right?
Yeah.
And then he went off, he started LA Drones and like did like a Drake video. He's done stuff for the Super Bowl. I mean, it's incredible. Like, it's just one of those industries that if you get in at the right time and you find your niche, Mr. Deer Finder, you can really make out. But like, let me ask you this. You mentioned that you have a drone license.
Yeah.
So at what point, so I go to the store or I go on Amazon and I buy my kid a drone. Yeah. How large is the drone until I have to have a license?
So anything under 250 grams.
Okay.
So sub 250. You can fly that without having to license it, but you still have to register all drones, right? If you're going to fly a drone, you have to have it registered with
even
FAA.
The smallest drones?
Mm-hmm. I think the micros, you don't really have to register, but you do have to register your drones. If you're going to be flying it out and like in public and stuff, you should definitely do that.
Have you seen what's going on off the coast of New Jersey and in New York, like with all the drones, like every night they've been seeing them?
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah, they said the only night that they have not seen them was Thanksgiving.
I'll be honest with you, dude. Them videos I've looked at, they look like airplanes, bro. I'm serious. Have you seen a video where you're like, what the heck is that?
Yeah, well, so right before I got off the air at the Blitz, right? And this is why a lot of people think that we left, and I'll debunk the rumor right now.
Is this an alien story?
Yeah. So
I'm here for it.
I'm in my backyard in Muirfield, and I'm sitting on the porch, right? And remember, I had this set up on the porch where you had the TV and everything. Mm-hmm. I had like a living room outside, kind of. And I'm just like looking out into the night, because it gets real dark out there.
Yeah.
And I just see this like thing floating, right? And I'm like, oh, that's a drone. I'm like, that's so weird. I'm like, I wonder what are they filming us? I'm like, they filming me watching TV. I was like watching Euphoria or something. And And so like, I keep, kind of turning around and I look again and I walk out into the yard. I don't know, something just like called me to like come to the yard. Like not audibly or physically, I just felt like, I don't know. It was just like I had to seek out and see what this was. And so this thing was like hovering. As I walked out, it started to come my way. And it sounds so nuts, but when I tell you, like, it got closer and I realized it wasn't a drone. It was something much larger. And then when it was right over me, it was huge. It was really big, and like as big as my house, big.
What?
And as soon as I saw it, it was there, and then it just kind of drifted away, and then it was gone. And it was just like gone from sight. It had a sound. It's kind of like a humming sort of sound. None like anything I had, like an airplane or anything like that. And it was gone. And we told the story on the air. And then like the next day, like whatever happened at the Blitz happened and we were gone. So people thought that the government came to get us for telling an alien story. And I'm like, I have no idea if it was an alien or what it was. But I mean, you know me, I'm not, I wouldn't bullshit you, like.
You're a straight shooter.
Like I'm still to this day rocked sometimes because like I just have no idea what it was.
What was the shape of it?
So it was kind of like round, but it wasn't. Like it was kind of like pointed in the back, it seemed. But as soon as like you felt like you could get a good look at it, it was gone. Like it was weird. And it's just the whole point.
Were you stoned,
that
bro?
I thought it was maybe, but like, when am I not? So like, it was flying over. And I guess my point like that blew my mind was how small it looked over my neighbor's house, like where it looked like, like when I thought it was a drone filming me.
Yeah.
To the point where I was standing in my backyard and it was over top of me and it was like as big as my house.
Were you just like frozen in fear at this point?
Well, I looked at her and I go, "Are you seeing this?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, no one's ever going to believe this. You know what I mean? Like it was nuts. And I've never seen anything else like that before in my entire life. I mean, like, nothing, I don't have any other close encounters,
I would
or anything
love to
like
have
that.
that type of experience. I've never seen anything like super unnatural or anything.
And I don't know. And I'm not claiming that it was. I mean, maybe it's something that I, right Pat's out there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be something that the Air Force has that I don't know about, that, we don't know about
Right.
in the public.
Well,
but
I don't know much about Jersey, but I feel like we're seeing all these prototypes of like flying cars.
Okay.
On social media.
Yeah.
Maybe they're test driving
cars
in the middle of the night, dude.
Listen, I have no idea. When people fly cars, though, that's going to be. You think the highway is a mess? Wait until people, like the people that can't drive, there's got to be a small amount of the population that's going to be able to fly a car, right? I mean, like we got to draw a line somewhere. Yeah. You got to have an extensive license. I got to do a test on you. I need a rundown. You know what I mean? Like,
if you think about like how Tesla is, right? You can put on autopilot in a Tesla car, and it will navigate. I'm pretty sure they did the test from LA to New York City, right?
Yeah, I know they did LA to Vegas. Yeah, but I don't know about New York. Yeah,
but if a car can drive itself autonomously, I'm pretty sure a flying car could.
It's the weirdest thing. Like when you're in a Tesla and it's self-driving.
I've never been in one.
Oh, it's fucking weird, man. And like if you're watching from Phoenix, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're all over Phoenix.
Are they?
Yeah. Like people are, you can see it online. People are like, no one is in the car. Right. Like, you know what I mean? It's just driving itself.
Well, with my drones, all I have to do is hit a button and it will come home to me wherever it took off. And it has enough sensors on it to detect if there are trees or obstacles or buildings or whatever.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so I feel like maybe in some ways that autonomous flight could be more possible with a higher degree of safety.
Gotcha.
Just because you're in open air, you know what I mean?
But we can't let just, any jerk off be able to control their own flying car.
Yeah, you better have some serious credentials to turn off autopilot in the air.
Yeah, you have to be able to, you have to be a pilot to fly a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just fly a car. We got to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think that's very safe at all. But no, I've been doing drone stuff for a while and content for hire. I do a lot of, one of my biggest clients right now is this guy out in Thornville. He owns a Can-Am dealership.
Okay.
and we do content for his off-road park we started.
Oh, that's sick.
And let me tell I want to have you come out.
Yeah, please.
You will have an absolute blast.
Oh, I love the
There's
stuff.
280 acres of just the baddest trails, and we rip through them on all these side by sides. We have these events out there.
Oh, that's cool, man.
So he's hired me to kind of.
I've always wanted to do that. It's like one of the things that I haven't gotten to do that I've always wanted to do is a side by side, like.
Okay, we started a series called Ride Along.
Oh, that's sick. Okay.
So, and he's a 2-time ex-Pro-Am champ.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So he can race. He can drive. We'll put you in the front.
Okay.
With him. Yeah. In a side by side.
Yep.
And rip these trails.
Let's go.
Hard, bro.
I'm ready.
But you have to, you got to be loud.
I gotta be loud.
I want to hear you.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll probably scream like a girl. I was over the weekend. I went to Krampus.
Yeah.
At Fear Columbus. We've talked about Krampus on the last couple of episodes, but I took Knox, my youngest.
Really? What was his reaction?
Oh, he loved it. I mean, my kids love scary shit. But it's so really? It's so metal. It's so fun. Like, they did a great job. It was like $70 for the both of us to go, which I just gone to Halloween Horror Nights just a month ago, right? And I was like, man, after going to Halloween Horror Nights, like, I did that, being from Florida all the time, and I know how good that is. And you have like several houses to go into at Universal.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, oh man, I hope this lives up to it. Not only did it live up to it, it exceeded my expectations like tenfold. They did such a good job, man. It was 45 minutes to walk through that thing.
A Krampus house?
Yeah. It's right on.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Krampus house.
Yeah. I think they started it like last year or the year before. And I mean, they have so many actors in there doing such a great job. But the part that I loved the most was you would get to different points in this experience, right? And they would stop you and say, how many in your party? So like, if you took your kids and your wife, you go, hey, there's 5 of us or 6 of us, all together. 6 of us. Yeah. And so it was just my son and I. And so they would stop Knox and I, and then the party in front of us would go. And then once they got to a certain point, because they have cameras in there, they could see like,
oh yeah.
Then they send the next group in. So as just 2 people, scary as shit. I mean, they got me so many times. I mean, you have no idea. I was praying that they don't release the video because I was like, just so many amazing jump scares. It was just awesome. I got to really applaud them. And, they're not paying me anything to say this. Right. This is just a natural plug for them.
I'm going to have to take my kids through there.
I think you'll love it, dude. I mean, it was really, and you know what else? Like, my son goes, it's really pretty too, because the lights are amazing. Like they do such a good job. And then when we got out, they did fireworks. And like this, they had like a
like
big
the sparkler things,
like a flamethrower type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, but yeah, it was awesome. And it was all to music, Christmas music. So
creepy Christmas music.
Creepy Christmas music.
It's kind of like what was that, Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, I love it. It's all in the same vein, man. Like Krampus, the outfits and everything, they were really good because I was showing Frankie on the last episode, what they do over in Austria and Germany.
I seen a clip of that.
Dude, that's like, what?
Yeah, imagine that peeking in your window at night. No.
Yeah, it's so cool. Well, if people want to hire you, man, and get you out to find a deer or fly a drone, how do they get a hold of Chase Gilroy?
Yeah, you just reach out to me on Instagram. So on Instagram, I'm at Chase Gilroy, and I'm very active on there. That's my main platform. I focus my time on Instagram. Love just being creative and helping people realize how they can be creative too. That's just my favorite thing in the whole world. And in fact, I'm trying to create a product, I guess, where like you can buy my course that teaches you all the things. And the first thing that I'm going to develop was a podcast course.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, because I mean, I do one, you do podcasts. I feel like a lot of people are really interested in podcasts.
Yeah, for sure.
And just content in general. I did kind of like a beta test post on my personal Facebook one day and was like, looking for 5 people who want to elevate their social media in order to promote their business. Because I feel like for as long as I've been doing content for hire,
sure,
I've never once marketed myself. People just know that I create content and have asked me to help. And so I just get hired organically through referral, through word of mouth. And through that post, I got so much interest. I realized, was like, dude, people really want to actually learn how to promote their stuff using social media. And to be honest, it's the best way that you should be marketing, especially now and moving forward.
Take control of your own ad space.
Right. And I mean,
and present the story that you want to present.
Right. Yeah. And there's two ways to do it. You can create organic social media, which Gary Vee will tell you that is the number one way to grow your personal brand, or you can use paid ads and dump a bunch of money to Facebook.
But still, it's not bringing you in like what you're saying, actually include the product in some sort of content.
Right. And it's like, I mean, people are trying to connect with brands, right? Like, if there's a brand that you absolutely name a brand that you absolutely love, you buy their stuff because you know it's good.
Oh, well, like this guy out in California, Local Boogeyman.
Yeah,
I get a lot of shirts and stuff like that.
So if you really vibe with his stuff and you follow him on social media, and he produces a new thing, like he makes a new product, and you're a big fan of that brand, you're probably gonna buy that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, for sure, you're right.
And I think like through my own research, I was like, okay, how do I start marketing myself actually? Because I want to expand, right? I want to expand my business. I realized that so many other people want the same thing.
Yeah,
they need to learn how to market their own stuff, and like I said, the best way to do that is through social media, and I happen to be really good at it. So like I kind of want to bridge that gap for people and help them understand how that they can market their product using social media.
I love it, man. Hey, I'm so happy that you came on the show today. It's great to see you, man.
It's really good to catch up.
It is, man. It's been too long.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're home, bro.
Hey, I'm glad I'm home too, man. And I'm so glad that you guys have tuned in and supported the show so far. Make sure you click the subscribe button, like this video, share this video.
All those things. Don't forget.
Yeah, all of them, but guys.
You have to do that.
And the next episode is coming your way next Tuesday. Thanks so much, Chase.
You're welcome.